Well, alright, give me a second here. Can't imagine a more awkward thing having to go from mobile to online. Jesus. Hello, testing. Am I coming through? Alright, just one more thing and then we'll get started. There we go. Welcome to the Time of Death podcast number 17. How is everyone doing tonight? I am your host, Hateful Tate. Tonight we will be covering the Google Doc made by Pool Guy on DaVinci 513, Bruhny Moments and Jibz's Google Doc on Vida. If you have any questions or comments during the stream, I'll answer them as we transition between topics. If you're asking about what is happening, I recommend going back earlier in the live timeline or wait after it is concluded. For those watching this in post, please leave a comment down below. Also, my Twitter and Discord are down below in the description, as well as any relevant links and timestamps for the topics in post. I hope everyone watching enjoys the updated layout going forward. The stream and those going forward will now be scripted for viewer convenience. On another note, Lyle Convoy has been accused by the user. Has been accused by the user at It's That Junkman on Twitter to be grooming children. The TLDR being Leo said mean things about him and wanted to have a discussion. Being a tard-ass boomer, Opal had to help him go through the steps in Twitter DMs to install Discord. She introduced herself as Leo's adopted daughter. Between that and a post made by Fluffy, of all people, that Leo was going to let Minhart stay with him when she moved out. This led him to the galaxy brain conclusion that Lyle was running a cult that grooms children. I and many others took exception to this. A day after of dunking on him, he cried for an end to the drama he started, as well as threatening legal action if it does not. We all took exception to this as well. As I speak, the little schoolgirl has protected his tweets. I say go for it. Tell the court you're here because one of your peers online said mean things about you. Bring your flimsy evidence that proves Leo is a child groomer and that he leads an online cult. Tell him how you took seriously the threats online to break your legs made by the children you claim he's grooming. I bet to everyone listening that if this does actually go to trial, the very short deposition is going to end with bellowing laughter from everyone else in the courtroom, followed by court adjourned. If you want more, check out my posts on Twitter regarding the issue, but ultimately this is Leo's beast to skin, not mine. All I have left to say is if that the standard of evidence you use to qualify someone like Leo as a groomer is anything like your ability to review the quality of toys, then you're a liar at best or a scam artist at worst. You think that's an unfair assumption? Then go take a look at a fucking mirror. Get bent, you pathetic jackass. Lastly, as I mentioned in the previous stream, I was offered an engineering design position a few weeks back, which I accepted. Between my current employment and my new one, the current timescale has the 5th of June as my last day where I'm currently working. From then to the 11th of the same month is when I will be moving into my new apartment closer to where I will be working. During this transitional period, the Pedophiles Part 2 and any other projects I'm currently committed to will be completed and hopefully uploaded by then. My first day on the job will be the 15th of June, so things on my end may be a little bit ambiguous at best. Alright. Now that we have that out of the way, let me just give it a sec. How's everyone doing? I know, right? A triple. Junkman is a spineless coward, nothing more, nothing less. Yes, exactly. Junkman can literally go F his own face. Yep. Punitive damage up his hind. Yep. Alright. Let us get to the first topic that we're going to be covering, and that is Da Vinci 513. The evidence comes from a friend of Pool Guy, Rock Buddy 9, who went to him with evidence that Da Vinci was grooming a 16-year-old called Bunny Chew. The evidence was compiled into a Google Doc created on May 6, 2021. The conversation goes as far back as April 21st of 2021. This is on page 5, top image on page 5 of the doc. Going through it, my biggest discrepancy regarding this evidence is a lack of an age from the predator themselves, from what I could find. From the context of the screenshots, the exchange between the two consisted of sexual conversations and talks of staying with Da Vinci when they turned 18. According to the minor's own testimony, his real name is Davin Benker, living with his mom in the state of Ohio. See page 25, bottom image. He has his own Discord server on page 25. I do not have a link for it or want one at this point right now. He also has a League of Legends account by the name of Zenuru777 on page 26. This was confirmed by the testimony of Pool Guy's friend. There's also a second victim, 13 years of age, who was also in contact with Da Vinci. See page 4. Unfortunately, there's currently only a single screenshot of their Discord DMs. This is due to the fact that most of the erotic conversation happened in the game chat that's deleted when they log off. Alright, that's the first one out of the way. Our second topic is the outed brony predator Bruhny Moments, or currently at Shadowblag on Twitter, and ShadowB hashtag 6571 on Discord. Here's their information on screen now. The only thing he's known for is posing for pictures of himself on Instagram and sending them to people online, including children. He is currently 20 years old and lives in the UK. His story is like any other person I and those like myself have covered. He's an adult that did something stupid and immoral with a minor online. What did he do exactly? Well, he sent unsolicited pictures of his dick to a user who told them they weren't even 18. Let me go through that real quick. This was all assembled by a Google Doc that Brutal had made, and I had helped assist him in making. This was created back in January and was covered in the Time of Death podcast number 15 in March. This is him sending the pictures. This happened back in November 11th of 2020. Let me get to that moment right here. Here we go. I mean, since you're horny right now, and I'm not at the moment for once, I might give you a souvenir because I'm not in a relationship yet. Blush face. So, what do you want specifically? Because I got variety from thinking about actually making an OnlyFans, Lamau. Lamau, I'd make one if I were 18. My addiction for foreskin. So there's really their verification right there that they aren't uh, of the legal age. And continuing this, they still have sexual conversations despite this information. From what I know, um, Bronny is friends with the victim. They know how old they are, stuff like that. Now we're going to fast forward to April, and I am made aware of the fact that, surprise, surprise, there's still fools hanging around with this idiot and not giving him the time of day. So I decided to have a sit down with some of them in a group chat to see if there's some misunderstanding regarding their awareness of the situation. They all left. So I added each of them individually. The first was by the name of Zugatti, the second was Woodshoe. Boy, oh boy. Oh yeah, and Bronny's apology was basically, uh, and this he said all this shit to the minor, and this was around January, late January, January 28th of 2021. Um, I don't hate anyone ever. I just think you're a bit egotistical and act like an ass without trying to. My dick is nothing special. I said that. I said being a dick to Groovy out of spite because we weren't getting along at the time. I still hate him, but the dude is packing. Although another thing I wish I never saw, that Enlightened showed me anyways. So yeah, great apology, man. You know, great fuck you apology. And then this is him basically whining about Brutal. So yeah, my discussion with Woodshoes and Zugatti I both covered on the previous stream. They're both artists. They have a reasonably sized following, and their excuses are basically, oh well, I'll cut him off if he does it again, or I don't have to explain myself to you, yada yada yada. Um, I really got a kick out of this discussion with Zugatti. If you still honestly believe that he's a predator and is genuinely attracted to children, you're either completely uninformed or just way too susceptible to propaganda. He's literally saying this to the guy who gathered all this information, or helped gather all this information and then streamed it. So, yes, I must have fooled myself. And no, it isn't. It actually isn't my problem. If I hurt your feelings, as I seem to have done given that you were the only one who came to me and called me stupid, not the other way around. And by the way, stop trying to scare me. Your petty fear tactics don't work on me. I actually have moral courage, unlike you. I know right from wrong. I actually listen to the whole story and make my own decisions based on it rather than just going along with the popular narrative. Bronny isn't a predator and he isn't attracted to children. He is, however, a dumbass. I didn't say a pedophile dumbass. Um, but yeah, this is the shit I had to deal with. It's not like I was asking them to signal boost this kind of thing. I just didn't want them to associate with this person. I didn't want them to get any kind of support from him. I didn't want him to be in any of their circles. And recently, I went into Woodshoe's Discord server, which Bronny was in. I popped in to say hello, and then I got banned 5 minutes later. So you two can get bent. Zugatti and Shadow, they're not friends, guys. But they say really weird shit together publicly. It's just that they're fuckboys with benefits. But yeah, you two can get bent. Here's their info up top here. Have fun with that. Anyways, moving on to May of recently. Um, Shadow or Brawny had posted this and said, "Mutuals, drop an emoji and I'll write something about you, a whoa." So the user here decided to reply to this, and correlating this to the responses given in succession to the people that had replied to him, he said this. Let me zoom in. "Not gonna lie, I was crushing on you until I found out your age. Nonetheless, you're still a cutie. Whoa. Woo. Ugh. They're 12, by the way. Here's some second confirmation right here. So, here's the proposition, Zugatti, Wood Shoes. Um, I hope you guys are true to your word that if I do come across information from this minor that he was being sexual with her and he was genuinely aware of her age, I will bring the wrath of God down upon both of you. I will never let you guys live this down. You guys will be fucked. I will make it my life's mission that no one buys a single commission from either of you. You guys are scum of the earth degenerates who have no balls, no agency. So you claim." Alrighty then. Let's read what the chat is going on. Ah, yes, Bruhny, funny. He blocked me after I exposed him in a long thread. Well, thank you, Isabel. Feel free to link that to me on my Twitter, and I'll be more than happy to spread that around. He still posts on Instagram, by the way, gloating to be, in fact, since he blocked me on my main, given the information I told Brutal about him and his meaningless threat. Yeah, no, he tried to do the same thing with me. He wanted to tussle down, and when I reciprocated his feelings, he blocked me on Twitter. He blocked me on Instagram, and any attempt I made out to reach out to him, I even went to his server. He banned me from there. He banned me from Woodshoe's server. Or I got banned. I don't know if he banned me personally. But he was just, too much of a pussy to basically stand on his own 2 feet and explain himself. Even Brutal, who's someone he claims he absolutely hates, basically said, I don't, like, I'll get into a call with you and Hateful, but, like, I don't want to talk about, these accusations, you know, I, I just want to move on from this. So I'll do it, but don't record me. And we were gonna have it settled for this Saturday, and he totally pussed out at the last minute, despite us agreeing to all of his conditions. Um, by the way, he said record without consent. He never specified his consent, so whose fault is it really? If someone gets a recording of you. I mean, Brutal certainly had my consent to record. But anyways, let us get to the last topic of the evening, which we'll be going over Jibz's cool doc on good old Joshua Keith Vida. Hey, Josh. Anyways, so yeah, this doc was made on the 11th of this month, and it was posted 2 days later. So let's get it. Let's take a look at this. Da, da, da. How does that look? Da, da, da. So this doc basically goes back from the beginning. Partial parts of it are anecdotal, such as like when she first met Vida, which was on a Twitch stream with another user. Saved. Just for some clarification, this was, um, as far as I'm concerned, most, if not all, parties concerned with this did consent, aside from Vida, obviously, consented to have these logs put in here. I gave my consent. That was probably my main concern I had with Jibs, just regarding the publication of this document. Just, so. Oh, fuck. There we go. So some of this is taken from direct screenshots. The other ones are exported from Jibs's conversations with Vida in Discord DMs. Da, da, da. So if like the time scale of it is a little flippy floppy, it's because like she took screenshots at a certain time, and you know it's fine. It's so at the very beginning, like Vita makes it apparent that it's like, well, I'm not attracted to you, but my state laws don't really have like any barriers when it comes to like the concept of like consent. It's like it's the age of consent in my state is 16. So, you know, between these barriers of time, because I believe it was February when I first started talking with Jibs, but the basic story being that um, Jibs and Vita were in a gaming community server, which Mithart was in, and I believe it is mentioned in the screenshots that Mint was told or made aware that he was dating somebody, and it wasn't until afterwards that she found out it was Jibs and was like, "You need to get away from this guy. I can get you into contact with somebody," and that's where Coyote came in. 61 pages. I thought it would be longer. Da, da, da. There we go. Vita, yeah, but vague. Trying to get to the core of it. This was on January 11th, this year. You're gay? What? No, I'm just seeing someone. Kind of. It's complicated. Yeah, I figured. Congratulations. You figured? Well, you weren't exactly being subtle. I can read. Being subtle? Where? I don't think we're going to be intimate anymore. What do you think I'm going to say? Bruh. So why did you say I know? Sounded like you knew ahead of time. Since I continued to escalate before Vita and I began more calls. Yeah, so it was just more of like a building up to things. Uh, Point at which, like I said before, like the floodgates came out was when Jibs, come on, either you're both fucking with me or you're both highly retarded. Also, I saw that you told Devin. Did Joshua tell you he initiated? Oh man. He initiated that sexual encounter with me. He told me he hadn't been able to get hard since he and I happened. He didn't tell me he was with anyone or interested in anyone until the day after it happened. This was 5 days after Mint's conversation with Vita. He did tell me. I find it funny how much you seem to enjoy hopping back and forth. At least I finally made up my mind, so kindly leave us be. Okay, fine, this won't last long. Tell Joshua I hope to see him in court very soon. And then um, yeah, and then this is when Jibs went to Emmy about this. It was on January 22nd. And then this is basically when it comes out. And then Coyote gets involved the same day. Hey there, Mint contacted me about what's going on. Can I shrink this? No, I don't think I can. No, I'm just cropping it. Oof. Curses. What page was I on? Hey there, Mint contacted me about what's going on. Hi, how are you? I'm well. Bit tired, been working, but that's normal. I'm alright either. So it was basically you want to do it in voice chat or text. So it says stay with Vida to try to slowly distance myself so I could leave. So we kept this all a secret. There we go. That's perfect. Yay. I had to hide that I shared them with someone, which he seemed to believe, and then contacted Emily regarding it. I still been working on leaving Vida, but this felt like a major setback and scared me as well as violated my privacy, so in order to try to make sure Vida never found out about me asking for help, I cut contact. Now this gets a bit flip-floppy between this point and when Jibz first met Vida, about them like being together or being in contact and whatnot. Sorry if I'm being a bit slow. It's just a lot of stuff to cover. Did Josh see it? Because my familiarity of the situation would, in a sort of biased perspective, be when I got involved. My sort of like context is Coyote's explanation to me about like what his involvement was and what Mint Hearts was. So this is, I believe, when like the big tipping point happened. This is like before like the pottle came to boil. It was a Discord server that Jibz and Vida were in, and apparently the story is that Vida, Jibz, and the server owner's underage daughter were doing naughty things in VC, and it got shared around, and the consensus in the server was very laid back about it. And it's like the whole event is supposed to be basically this was the event that sparked Vida to make his vague drama response video on his new channel about this community server, and that's what prompted us in Senate to learn about it, which Coyote responded to. Vida went back and forth. Jibz eventually got involved, and things got very heated. Coyote made some had misunderstandings about where Jibz was coming from in this sort of perspective, and said things that he's apologized for and has regretted for saying. And this was around the time I got involved with things. Let me just take just take a minute real quick just to see what you guys are saying in chat. Yeah. He was excited or just being held for extradition. That's, I don't know. It was said he was booked for extradition. That's I believe what the story was. I don't know. I hear things regarding that thread. I can't reach it currently given I have not used the account in a long time. If that helps in any way. Sure, yeah. No, whatever you can give me, just push it along ahead. That's anything's appreciated. From what I've looked up, I believe it means he's going to be tried in another country from where he lives. Not exactly sure. Don't know why though. Pray it has to do with the Emmy or Jib stuff. Even if not, he can still be inclined for assaulting a medical officer when he's tried to off himself. I don't know. It's, I mean, I would technically say like Vida's probably the first case involved that we're involved with where someone has received um repercussions by the law for his actions. The only other instance would probably be Foxler, and that's only because Anthony had him on stream and covered it, and then by some miracle, he got pressed charges by said minor. And what he was basically doing is he admitted in a recording that he had a minor cross states and had to have sex with her in a motel, and he bragged about it, saying it was the best sex of his life. I don't know if that evidence being public is what helped reinforce the case. I don't know. Most likely had absolutely nothing to do with it, so it could have just been like an unrelated, sporadic event. Da-da-da. Oh, oops. So, it's the difficult part for Jibs was, letting go of Vida. It's, you can say the same thing when Mint went through the same thing, and Jazz as well. It's not uncommon for young vulnerable people to be attached to someone that you've spent. I mean, the big difference being between what Jibs went through and what Mint and Jazz went through is like this happened, I would say, over the course of 6 months, and Jazz and Mint had to deal with it for 5 years. Um, but I would even just say like a single month of time can have an influence on somebody depending on just who the person is. So I want space from him. So this was conversations with Jib's friend Katsuku. This is in February 10th. Why he dragged us either. Kinda pissed at her. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. He's mad, guys, because the child is jerking him around. He just can't be the fucking adult and say, I don't want to do this anymore or whatever. Not that hard. Um, this. Yep. This is the part where I believe after Vida had made his drama video and we had responded to it. You have to trust me on this. I was in that life for nearly 10 years, over half of your life. I'm intricately and deeply aware of the mindset and community and understand how it functions to a T. Do you know that if you do something stupid and shitty, that chances being someone's going to find out about it, you dumb fuck? Jesus Christ. Re-put you so, am I right? Da, da, da. So yeah, this is when I got involved. I was just basically, kind of wanted to separate myself from what was going on Twitter and just to like get Jibs' side on things and to give her reassurances about the situation. Vida quickly banned most users, especially ones he recognized from his old community, and also noticed one I had added, Hateful aka Hate, who had been speaking about me to get the truth of everything and help, as well as some clarification. Thus, I had to remove him, and we continued our conversation in Twitter DMs. Yeah, that happened. And then I just gave her an alt that Vida wouldn't be able to recognize the name of. I've been in your server. I've seen how you didn't want Vida around, and did what you could to purge him from there. But he always seemed to come back. I know you are aware of what he did, aware of what he is. Oh yeah, aware of what he is and what he did. Then you seem to allow him back in and started dating him. I'm confused. I know everyone wants to go public with everyone and stop making sure my public messages will be okay for Vida to see, but I'm just trying to protect myself. I can give you that protection, but I understand that something like this can disrupt your social life online. But the truth is, it already has been to an extent. Am I wrong? The final time I blocked him, lasting 2 months, I was blackmailed into. It tore me apart and left me really vulnerable. I had nobody to talk to who would respond past one word messages, and I needed comfort and someone to talk to more than anything. So, so slowly, so slowly but surely, I started to crawl back to Vida. First on alts, in his streams, just enjoying engaging with him, laughing with him, again, even though he didn't know it was me. And then one day I reached out to apologize originally for how I treated him when we last split. And and we started talking and talking. Before I knew it, somehow he had me laughing again, and I had missed it so much, like a drug I didn't know I was addicted to until I didn't have it. I understand how that feels. Vita's done that to people like you in a position like that. It can be easy for God. I type like such an autist. It can be easy for most people to forget that you're a kid, but going this route will isolate you further. If you want someone to talk to, I can do that for you. I have loads of other victims I've helped in the past that I talk to regularly, but I can only do this if you're willing to trust me. Let me hold on a sec. Ayo, hey Jibs. If he's lucky, it's just a beating. Otherwise, he'll be married to some guy made to squat like a girl, wear homemade women's clothes, a girl's name, and then passed around like a blunt. No, they don't. Yeah, he tried to be a cop, Bubba. Yep. Mm-hmm. Jeez Louise. I'm just gonna close this tab. Oh, back to things are a bit fuzzy from this time, but I remember Vita being upset about me slowly trying to distance myself after all that happened, which is also partially because I was trying to talk to others and hate and get help. Coyote eventually agreed to have a call with me to clear things up as well. Um, Yes, this is something that happened later. This was after things had calmed down. Um, I do know eventually, like a few days after this, Jibs had given me a recording that is very similar in tone to um, when Mint broke up with Vida and he was bawling his fucking eyes out. It was hilarious. It was pathetic, you know. Eventually, I officially broke up with Vida, although we still kept contact. We still had a final call as well, since he insisted on it after the matter. He kept asking what he had done wrong. uh, Pay the electric bill, Vida. You won't be in a dark place then. That's what you did wrong. Then making excuses for it as well. He coached me back into a bit of a relationship again afterwards, but that quickly ended. Keep going. Josh, I'm 16. I don't know how to fix it. Tell me what parts are poison. My fucking god. Tell me what parts are poison. Jesus Christ. Okay, so um, after getting some courage and talking to Hate for a bit, I became open to have a call with Lio as well. A lot of people had said Lio could really help, and also many people seemed to suspect me. Yet by this time, um, there were quite a number of people from Senate who had reached out and added Jibs on Discord, like Rouge, Stalin, and Step, um, to basically, reassure her about the situation. And eventually I went to her and asked if she'd get into a call with Lio and me, and she agreed, just so on the condition that I'd be in there. So, um, a lot of people. I refuse to talk to Leo since I took what he said in the past as blackmail, which I believe was, I'm gonna call your parents. I'm gonna let your parents know what you did. The call went well and ended in me blocking Beta and banning him from my server and everywhere I could think of, as well as exporting our chat logs and history and sending it over to Lio and Hate. Vita tried to reach out on alts, use others to reach out to me, call me, anything he could think of. But I blocked them all. Sometimes I wake up and see a missed call from a Google Voice number, since he still has my phone number saved. My friend spoke with him before, also did the same, namely Cat, albeit after a few complications back and forth. Yeah, I don't remember exactly when, but I know that at some point Lio and I were asked by Jibs and Cat to basically have a sit down with their friends who were still in contact with Vita. I think there was only like one guy that was like a legal adult in that call, but none of them really seemed interested in cutting contact with Vita. Mostly just because they either just didn't care or was like the message was getting so jumbled up they didn't know what the fuck was going on. So yeah, just to let you guys know, um this is a result of the exporter. If someone like changes their profile picture, it'll on Discord it'll do that. Final messages between me and Vita. So this ended on the 17th. It's about almost 3 months since then. So final message between me and Vita. Vita currently still goes by One Drunk Legion on Twitter, the Drunken Legion / the Drunk Legion elsewhere. He should never have a platform. He has proven time and time again he will not change. I'm the third girl we know of he has done this to. Currently, we've spoken to a couple other people, and that there's another person, although I'm not really going to disclose that at the time. So yeah, that's my experience. All right then. A few more screenshots. So yeah, this is the more sexually explicit stuff, and that's um, I may or may not have masturbated to some of your pictures on Instagram long before any of this happened, even when we weren't talking. I find it funny we weren't talking to each other, but we were masturbating to the thought of each other. Okay. Um, yeah. Uh, uh, I was a pedo hunter. Yeah. Gonna be honest, like you were handed the Toon Critic situation, and then were literally dragged by your heels by layouts who to cover these people in your own server. You didn't even want to cover foul. You basically like dumped that on Anthony's lap. like, I mean, not even just that. When you made the Toon Critic video, you clearly stated you had no interest in helping expose pedophiles in your community or just in the Bruhny community. And it was never because I was interested in kids. I just wasn't mature enough to know to say no and hold that stance. No, it's just that you lack a brain. You're the straw man. You're the scarecrow. You haven't got a brain. After all the pedos I was finding in every nook and cranny, uh, I don't know about that. Most of those pedophiles you found were in your own server. Just saying. I'm not saying it was your fault. It's just, what is it? Well, aside from you, there's three predators and one orbiter, so, you know. And one of them was a drama hunter. Or, uh, well, Fusion, he covered a pedophile. Let's just say that. Um, Again, even if I were interested in you, I'm not dumb. You're a lesbian. Okay? I legitimately have no woman right now I'm interested in. And honestly, I don't know if I'll be open to dating anyone else anytime soon. The connection I had with her was just so intense that it actively destroyed any relationships I went into. Yeah, that's because you got found out as a pedophile twice. I think I want to say like a month apart from each other. You got fucked, man. Or no, no, no. You fucked yourself, man. Big time. You literally started acting sexual around Jazz like 2, 3 months, maybe a month after you made your video on Tune. Get the fuck out of here. One more thing, someone suggested I post this publicly even though I think she already knows this. Clearly want to have a back and forth. Can we use an instant message program to expedite this process? Expedite. Yeah, that's expedite. I can tell you want to talk to me. If you have any concerns about my behavior, we can address them, but I think you have the wrong idea. Yeah, and that's Coyote responding to him back in February. So that is the end of the doc. That's just like a brief overview as on the doc as a whole. Let me just go on the live chat real quick. Yeah, jars of Vida tears, coffee cups of Vida tears, Jibz. Oh yeah, I gotta share that recording sometime. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I could not stop laughing when I heard it. It's the sound of a broken man. A broken record, man. He just can't help himself. At least he didn't try to tell Jibs something in a different language. Uh, sure. I don't know about that. Another language. T-M-L, Lamau. It's revolting he still has access to electronic devices, let alone more accounts. Yeah, it is. These DM conversations are sickening. I'm sorry you have to even look back at them, let alone have to explain them. Hope you're healing well. Yes, I just wanted to, Jibs, thank you for, making this all public. It's the first step in a much longer and larger, um, future campaign going forward. Because I know that when I had brought this to the servers that Jibs and Vida had shared, I think one was a general horror gaming Discord server, um, and I sent them what evidence that I could at the time, and they got rid of him in a heartbeat. When I went to the Dead by Daylight community server, they're like, hold on a moment. Have you thought taking this to the police? And I said, there's already a police report. Someone's already filed a police report against him. I just want you to get this fucker off your Discord server. And they're like, nah. Well, actually, I was more like, so can I take your response as a no? When they asked me, did you call the police? I was like, yes, we called the police. Can I take your response as a no? And they never responded back to me. Remember TMO with Jazz? Uh, no. Ich spreche keine Deutsche. But yeah, that should be everything for the time being. If anyone has any more questions they'd like to ask, I will call it an evening. Google it. Actually, ask your parents. Ich liebe dich, as I love you in German. Oh, at 2? More than once in flying. Let me remind you, this is the same person who acted bit shot online and openly indulged in trying to get people to not speak about things, and here he is bawling his eyes up because he got exposed. Yeah, I mean he's not the first pedophile who's had that reaction. He certainly won't be the last. And it's glorious every time, just as it was as the last. I mean, I couldn't stop laughing when I listened to Toon Critic being like called out. He's like, "You guys can't do this to me." Yes, he tried. He didn't try. He did hijack the account. Um, After he got told off by a 19-year-old, a 26, 27-year-old man is getting dunked on by a 19-year-old because the mods there don't like the system that's put in place, and instead of having a sit down to try to compromise things or make a compromise with things, or wait until like the head mod comes in, um, he decides to do it after or before she wakes up and comes in, and while all that shit is happening, he's like, "Hey, are you cool with this?" And she's like, "No," and he's like, "Oh, well then fuck you then." Well, if there's nothing else um, that needs to be asked, I will end the stream. You guys have a good night and take care.